Olivier Blanchard, Economic Counselor to the IMF. The current slowdown in the global economy, do you see this worsening?
It's a very weak recovery. I mean, the rate of growth for world output, which is, 3.5% this year, we think, is very low. It's the lowest one if you forget 2009 for the last 10 years. And then if you look across countries, in the US, we forecast 2%. That's barely enough to decrease unemployment. In Europe, we have negative growth this year, positive growth, but small next year. Emerging market countries down from fairly high rates in the 2000s to low rates now. So weak recovery is point one, and point two is this is the baseline. And unfortunately, when we look, we see very large downside risks.
What needs to happen for us to get out in front of the crisis and come to some kind of a conclusion?
Italy and Spain have to succeed. Not right away, it's going to take a long time, they have to succeed. So I think this means two things. The first one is they have to do what's needed to succeed. So they have to do the adjustment in competitiveness, which is tough. They have to do the fiscal consolidation, which is tough. Now, to a first approximation, they're actually doing it. I mean, both governments are very much committed, and we see very good things happening there. But that's not enough. I mean, they are in a very deep hole. They need help from the others, from the other Euro members. And there has to be a commitment to help them. So we can think about 10 measures which will do this, but the essence of it is help, right? So for example, they need to be able to borrow at a reasonable rate. They cannot borrow at 6 or 7% for a very long time. So something has to happen there. There has to be measures which do that. But, put simply, the countries have to do what they need to do. The others have to help. And if this happens, we should be out of the woods.
Now, looking at the emerging markets countries, we're used to a very high growth rate from many of these countries, but the growth rates have since slowed down. Do we need to adjust our expectations here in terms of growth rates for emerging markets countries?
I think we do. I think there is a sense in which the very high growth rates we've seen were probably slightly above potential growth. So these countries are having lower growth rates. It's happening because they are, in many cases, squeezing investment, squeezing credit. They seem to be doing it about right. We think it's going to be soft landings. But yeah, looking forward, we're not going to see some of the rates we saw in the 2000s. But this being said, for countries like India or China to go at 6, 7% is still an amazing performance. And for the others, going at 3, 4, 5% is still a very good performance. So yes, we have to revise our expectations, but I don't think that's where the dangers are.
Olivier Blanchard, thank you.
Thanks.